Welcome everyone to the first episode of Codex Readings with Kyle Blaine. If you haven't seen the first episode of this Dragon Age series, I'd suggest you go back and watch that. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be splitting up every once in a while and reading the codexes that we get. At first, it's probably going to be a Sundays I read codexes, Thursdays I do gameplay. And then as the game progresses, I'm sure there's less and less codexes to read, and I might actually just read them in the gameplay videos themselves. I don't know, it just depends on how the game pans out. But for now, there's a lot to read, so let's get to reading. I'm assuming, yeah, so we got quite a few to read. We may not get through all of them today, but we're at least going to get through a good bit. Culture and history. Okay, so we've got 4 in this category. Yeah, so here we go. Life in Orzammar. The dwarves of Orzammar are quite unlike those found in most human cities. Although Orzammar derives its vast wealth from trade with human kingdoms, all dwarves who come to the surface to trade are stripped of their position in society. Dwarven merchants are so ubiquitous in human cities that many people labor under the impression that all dwarves are merchants, or that their whole race worships coin and trade. That's really interesting. But these surface dwarves are atypical creatures, the ones willing to give up all ties to their kin and sacrifice their rank in order to conduct business. Below ground, the dwarves are a people obsessed with honor, their own, and that of their family. Most nobles incorporate chainmail even into formal gowns, because slights and insults often turn deadly. They are a people who revere excellence and strive to achieve it in all things. Even members of the servant caste have been elevated to paragons, usually posthumously, in recognition of remarkable service. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genetivi. Orzammar politics. As dangerous as it is to mistake a dwarf's caste, it is far more deadly to mistake his alliances among the noble houses of Orzammar. Everyone in the city is allied with someone, whether by blood or by word. The nobles do not engage directly in commerce themselves, as that is the domain of the merchant caste. But they do serve as patrons. They invest in shops or in artisans' work, and in turn reap a share of the profits as well as a measure of the credit. Merchants and warriors alike benefit from the service of a prestigious patron. So that's interesting. If it's not, that'd be cool if that was part of the game where you actually, being a noble caste myself, if I could like buy stock basically in a merchant, that'd be really cool. I don't think it's there, but it'd be cool. The relative power of each house is ever changing. It is usually safe to assume that whichever noble house holds the throne is at the top of the heap. But below that, things grow into a tangled mess. Houses ally with one another by marriage. They earn rank and prestige when combatants loyal to them or from their own bloodlines win provings. They earn it when artisans they patronize become sought after or well regarded, or when the merchants they invest in become successful. The degrees of power that these achievements confer is so murky even to the dwarves that it is unusual for nobles to challenge each other to provings over whose smith forges better belt buckles or whose servants have the best manners. Nor is it out of the ordinary to find two merchants arguing over whose noble patron has won the most acclaim, for the rank of the patron is the rank of the client. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the assembly, where the Deshirs, representatives of each noble house, meet. Okay, so Deshirs are the representatives of each noble house. I guess maybe that's a term I just don't know, or maybe it's a new term in Dragon Age. Although the king technically rules Orzammar, kings are elected by the assembly, and so each king must work constantly to maintain the support of the Deshirs. Kings who prove unpopular find their heirs deemed unacceptable to inherit the throne. Power then passes to another house. That's really interesting. Okay, moving on. The proving. Valos Atretum. In the 23rd year of the reign of King Ragnan Iduken, an old man of the servant caste was accused of stealing a sapphire ring from his employer, Lord Dace. The servant was stripped of his position, he and his family thrown to the streets, and soon after, the servant died. The son of the disgraced servant challenged Lord Dace to a proving, declaring that his father had been the victim of a cruel injustice, and the ancestors would bear him witness. Lord Dace had no choice but to accept. On the sacred stone of the proving ground, the nobleman faced the servant boy. Lord Dace carried a sword crafted for his own hand and was clad in his great-grandfather's armor. The servant boy had neither armor nor weapon. When the battle began, the boy fought like a whole pack of angry deep-stalkers, flinging himself up upon the startled lord, wrenching the sword from his hand, and prying at his armor with bare fingers. The boy knocked Lord Dace to the ground and beat him until the lord begged for mercy. The boy and his family were reinstated to their place in the Dace household, and the virtue of the boy's father was not questioned again. The ancestors had spoken, and no one would question their word, as told by Shaper Vortag. Interesting. So apparently my family comes from the servant caste of old, anyways. And we'll probably finish up with this one. Maybe we'll look at a few more in another category. Dwarven faith. We are the children of the stone. She supports us, shelters us, offers us the most priceless gifts of the earth. The worthy return to her embrace in death, becoming ancestors. The unworthy, becoming ancestors, I didn't see that period. The unworthy are cast out, unable to rest, that their failings may not weaken the stone. So it has been since the earliest memories. We live by the stone, guided by the ancestors, who speak with the voice of the provings, and whose memories the Shepheret keeps forever in lyrium. More words we don't know. We do not accept the empty promises of heaven as the wild elves do, or vie for the favor of absent gods. Instead, we follow in the footsteps of our paragons, the greatest of our ancestors, warriors, craftsmen, leaders, the greatest examples of lives spent in service to our fellow dwarves. Our paragons joined with the stone in life, and now stand watch at our gate, ushering in those surfacers privileged to visit our city. We know there is no greater honor to hope for, but better reward for an exceptional life, as told by Shaper Shibor. So basically, dwarves have faith in their ancestors, and they look forward to the day of dying and becoming an ancestor themselves. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, good. So it dies down when I don't have new ones to read. We don't. Oh, well, no, never mind. We're done, I think, because I don't need to read these. These I already read. Yeah, so let's mark these red real quick. A little bit of housekeeping to do. And notes. What does this say? Let's read one and just see what happens. Okay, it does stay lit that there's new ones. Okay. Okay, the credits and credits. Oh, good. So we're done. Okay, so it really wasn't that much to read. All right, folks, that's it for the first episode of Codex. I believe we'll just start. I think we'll just call these like 1C because I don't want this to be counted as an episode. So any episode that follows, or any Codex episode that follows an episode of gameplay will just be the gameplay's number and then the letter C for Codex. So we'll see you guys next time for some gameplay. Adios. Bye.